Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back. Today I wanted to do a little something to thank you guys for your awesome support over this past year. Our growth on the channel has been insane. Honestly, I can't thank you enough for your continued support. You guys are clearly enjoying what I'm making, and I'm clearly enjoying making it. So I'm very much looking forward to a great 2020. So cheers to you all. And in return, I want to tell you a little something about myself. So I opened up a Q&A on my Discord. And so these are all questions that were submitted by people in the Discord. And so I'm just going to go through them in no particular order. So here we have Major Freak says, what DLC would you have wanted to be released earlier in any of your playthroughs for the Paradox game? And so he's German, so his English is a little strange in here, but I think what he's saying is which one, if I could release a DLC early, which one would it be? And I would certainly say Art of War for EU4. Art of War is, in my opinion, the most vitally used DLC in all of them. It adds literally so many mechanics for war and the favor system and all that. And I just think it is awesome. I am a big fan of it, and I think it adds a lot of balance to the game. Next one, we have Otto the First here asking, are you preparing dad jokes for when the time comes? I recently got married here in June. I got married in June. And living with my wife, and yeah, possibly kiddos in the future. Not anytime soon. We are not even thinking about it right now. I actually am starting a job here this week, full-time job, beginning my career, and YouTube will become my part-time job. So maybe. Rash says, is there a change that you're going to play CK2 or CK3 when you come out? And I assume change means chance. CK2, no. CK3, certainly. I'm very much excited for CK3. Alpine Rooster is a mod in my Discord, and he has some questions. He says, Stellaris when? When I enjoy it. Who touched your spaghetti? That is a reference to some Factorio BS that I made, and I'm very happy with my spaghetti. What are your thoughts on the new trilogy of Star Wars? I don't know. It's all SJW garbage. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm just never really a Star Wars fan, and I never really got into it. I think it's good for like a flashy fighting movie, but I never read too much into the lore. It's all good. Fallen Order, I have not played, but I will certainly do it, and I'll probably just do it on stream, honestly. I don't really have a whole lot of free time anymore to game on my own, so streaming and doing stuff for YouTube is kind of the only gaming that I actually do anymore. And then the last one is a plug for Raid Shadow Legends, which I'm not sponsored, so we're not going to do it. So my man Tim, my top supporter on Patreon, has less of a question, but we got to get around to this face reveal at some point. You are like Master Chief with a Chewbacca mask. And so there is a very good reason why I don't do a face reveal. And the number one reason is because I am fresh to my profession. I'm a chiropractor. I want to keep my personal life and my online life separate. And that's not to say forever, but for the time being, I cannot opt into a face reveal because I do really like the idea of being separate from that. And that's not to say that I maybe wouldn't do like a meetup with or a meet and greet or anything like that if the occasion were to ever arise or if there was ever a demand for it. I'm just not too excited to show my face online, I suppose. Jose says, is YouTube a viable part-time job? Certainly, I think it is. I think it could be. It depends. I mean, there's a huge, wide range of what you can do on YouTube as far as earnings goes. You can range from absolutely $0 for the first 3 years, like I did, to, decent. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm making a killing, but between, very generous donations from streams and Patreon, I think that if you're willing to put in the time, you can make a decent part-time living from it and possibly a full-time living. But my intention is to stay part-time and just enjoy this as a fun hobby to communicate with the community and play video games and let people watch it if they want to, right? Classy says, what is your favorite your mom joke? And I honestly was thinking about this for quite a while, more than I'd like to admit. But I think my favorite your mom joke is honestly just the comeback. Like, just the, oh, do you know where this is? Like, oh, your mom, or like, I guess I don't really know how to explain it. Just like when we were kids, you just yell your mom at people. And then, you inevitably get the kid who had a mom who, died of cancer on Christmas Day or something like that. And then you feel like a jerk. And then anytime you make a your mom joke in the future, you just think of that. So honestly, just the good old-fashioned your mom, no context. I think that's the best one. Diavolo asks, when did you get into Paradox games? And I want to say my first Paradox game was EU4, and I bought it my sophomore year of college. So that would have been 2014. So I bought EU4, and I was playing it on my MacBook Pro, and it absolutely cooked the thing, and it played fine, but Speed 5 was an absolute disaster, and yeah, good times, but that was back when EU4 was fresh and had no DLC, and so it was pretty bare bones. But France had its vassal swarm, so that was pretty cool. He also asks, what is the origin story of the name Chewy Shoot? Which is also a good question, because I guess I've never really explained it to anybody outside of my personal life who know about the YouTube stuff. And honestly, it's kind of a mishmash. So growing up, I was a very hairy kid. I was one of those freaks who hit puberty when I was like, 12, and I was in 6th grade and had, hair all over my legs and hairy armpits. So my friends called me Chewbacca, and then my buddy's dad always just took to calling me Chewy, and he'll still call me that even today, which is kind of funny just because, I'm this 26-year-old not so hairy guy anymore, but it was funny. And then Shoot is just, I added that on because I feel like Chewy Shoot kind of flows well off the tongue, and Shoot is kind of like a reference to, shoot 'em up video games, which is funny because I don't actually play. I just play like strategy games for the most part, but you shoot in Terraria, so I guess, Chewy Shoot. That's it, yeah. Not this crazy story, but that's it. He also asked favorite to least favorite Paradox games, and while I'm not going to trash PDX because I think that they are a wonderful company, my favorite is obviously EU4. It has been the one that has brought me this amazing community that I have, and I'm super thankful for that. It's also just my favorite to play in my free time. I've almost 2,000 hours into it, and I certainly don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. Second favorite is definitely CK2, because it's the only other one that I've really played, and I love CK2. I did buy Stellaris on release, and I wasn't a big fan of it, and I actually refunded it. And then I bought Imperator on release, and, it didn't really do it for me. It was very bare bones, like a lot of people would say. Most of the reviews I would agree with. Some of the harsher ones maybe are a little too harsh, but Imperator, I'm looking forward to trying some more of the 1.3 release. I haven't really put a lot of time into it, but I certainly will. And I'll probably do it, for the YouTube channel. So we'll see how that goes. One of my Patreon supporters, Uncle Donald, said, will you ever do Hoi 4 series and or host Hoi 4 games? And so the answer to the Hoi 4 is possibly, but probably not. So I did have a few Hoi 4 series in the past. I did a Germany campaign back before my channel. So for those of you who don't know, my channel was very small up until about September. At the end of August, the early September, for some reason, I had a very big boost in my YouTube relevance, I suppose. And I went from about 300 subscribers to about 2,000 in the course of a month. And then I've gone up since then to about the mid 4,000s. And Hoi 4 was a game that I had played, and it got zero traction. And so in my mind, it just was a dead campaign, and it wasn't worth playing. Hosting it, possibly, I don't know. Hoi 4 has a lot of goofy macro and the early, or micro, I should say. And then the early game is just boring, in my opinion. So I don't know. Maybe, Donnie. I can't make any promises, though. So my other supporter on Patreon, Brown Pinky Joe, but we just call him Udaldo, says, which bear is best? The brown bear. He also says, what made you want to be a YouTube creator? And the real answer is, honestly, I just always appreciated Let's Plays. I've always watched them. I've always enjoyed them. I have watched Arumba since 2014, like roughly when I started playing. I used to watch Shen when he would play YouTube or play for YouTube. I'm a big fan of Provis, huge fan of Provis. I watch everything he puts out. And so it's just like, I felt like it was kind of natural that I put an attempt into it. And I'm also a big computer nerd. So I like the hardware side of things, kind of getting my hardware upgraded and all that stuff. So it seemed like something that I would be interested in trying. And then it's just like I fell into this awesome community, and it's so much fun that I just cannot picture myself not doing it. But as far as what got me into it, it was kind of just a whim. I just said, hey, you know what? I got a microphone. I got a decent computer. Let's give it a try, right? So then he also says, what are some unexpected changes in your life that came with devoting more time to YouTube? So I moved to Nashville with my wife in July, and admittedly, I feel like my job searching for my career job was possibly a little slowed down by the affected, especially from me putting all the time into YouTube. I can't say that it's the reason why maybe it took me a little longer than it should have, but I think that's, probably a fair criticism you could make on me, yeah? What are some short/long-term goals with the channel besides the obvious channel growth answer? Well, besides the obvious channel growth answer, I would like to do some more community things. I really enjoyed the multiplayer session that we did throughout the couple of months that we did, primarily like October, November, and a bit of December. Those were really fun and I enjoyed those, and I'd like to do those more, as well as just I really want to get other games on my channel just from EU4. EU4 is the only thing that I play that gets any views, and that's because everybody that's subscribed to me for the most part subscribed for EU4. Some watch my Terraria campaign, but not very many. So I guess my long-term goal would be to diversify and not just depend on EU4, as well as do more streaming. I really enjoy streaming. It's fun, and I get to interact with you guys live, and a lot of people really enjoy that, especially me. And then he also asked, when is the Patreon MP, which is something that I had promised quite a long time ago. And Aldo, we're going to do it. Honestly, we just need to organize it, and let's get the ball rolling on that. Shoot me a message. We'll get it sorted out. Honza asks, how are you? I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you, man? Then he also says, do you have a face? I, in fact, do have a face like most people do. He says, Imperator when? Same as Stellaris, when I enjoy it. And then he also asked, is today's video sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends? No, I wish it was. That'd be cool, but it's not. Why am I a Discord contributor? Honza is a Discord contributor because he suggested an image that we were using for an emote. And whenever somebody will contribute an emote to the channel, they will get the Discord contributor role. So yeah, if you want to get involved on the Discord, that's one way to do it. A-Man says, why did you start YouTube? I had already answered that already with Aldo, but basically I really like the games. I really like watching people play them. I figured I wanted to give it a chance myself, and that's the rest. Yeah, that's it. And then he says, how's your wife reacting to you doing daily YouTube? Admittedly, it's been better than I would have expected. She's mostly supportive. It's, in her mind, it's mostly just, oh, I'm just playing video games in the other room. It's not necessarily that I'm doing stuff for YouTube, but it's good. Overall, good. I would say good. So thanks for hanging out, guys. I hope that you learned a thing or two about me that you can appreciate, or not. I mean, I don't care, whatever. Regardless, Happy New Year to you, and I wish you guys all the best in 2020. Looking forward to seeing what we can do as a community and what sort of fun we can have with 1.3 when it comes out, and then possibly other games. So cheers, guys. This is Chewy Shoot, and I'll catch you guys later.